It's the question of the century. Is Vaporwave dead? Well, yes and no. I'm Mike Dangerous, and this is Talking Shots. Vaporwave is a beautiful thing, and yes, I mean thing. I'm reluctant to call it a musical genre. It's been called a neo-punk movement, an art movement, a music genre, and most importantly,
an aesthetic.
Yes, it's important to acknowledge the dreamy and nostalgic aesthetic that's become the staple of Vaporwave. The feelings of nostalgia for memories we've never had and the constant critique yet celebration of the very capitalist society we live in is everything we want out of media. We all long for a better past that never truly existed. We like to remember the good old days as a better time when in reality, things weren't that much better. We all want to bring it back to a time when we had hope for the future, a beautiful, synthesized digital future. A future we're living in right now. But the future isn't so beautiful. It's dark, it's disappointing, it's violent, and some would say we live in the darkest future. Vaporwave is a longing to mold this timeline into a future we all hoped for. A reaction to the future that we got instead of the future that was promised. Vaporwave is an idea. That's why musically there's so many different styles and genres all tied together by the same aesthetic. And it's more than just a fad. The same ideas that made Floral Shoppe what it was still apply today. Hell, its influences reached as far as artists like XXXTentacion and Post Malone. What's so beautiful is that Vaporwave is expanding beyond the 80s and 90s aesthetic to acknowledge a more modern one, as if to say that we are making memories right now, both good and bad, and that's a part of life. It's emotional on an almost primal level, and that's something that transcends language. Trippie Redd's Wish played over degraded Hey Arnold footage works because we all feel sadness, we all feel loneliness, and within that loneliness, we're not alone. Vaporwave is also the deadest meme of all time. How many Floral Shoppe remixes are there, Kevin? Too many, right?
I wish I could tell you.
Exactly, too many. Yeah, it may be a little pretentious of a movement, to say the least. I mean, what would eventually become the Vaporwave National Anthem is really just a slowed down Diana Ross song, which itself was just a joke to begin with. Really, the basis for Vaporwave as a music genre is really simple and uninspired, to say the least. There have been so many videos and essays written about a genre that's essentially a joke that just takes 80s elevator music and slows it down. And yet here we are. Young Bae and Saint Pepsi, aka Skylar Spence, are basically mainstream artists now. You can't scroll on Instagram without seeing a Sad Boys Danny Phantom edit. There's a reason Vaporwave refuses to die. There's a reason it's still the center of so much discussion and enthusiasm. It's because at the end of the day, we can derive as much or as little meaning as we want to from it. It gives people an outlet to relate to each other. It's manufactured, soulless media, but within that, it's more human than anything. Take as much meaning as you want from it, because at the end of the day, that's real to you. And if it's real to you, then it's real to somebody else. You're not alone. You're not alone in your hopes, you're not alone in your fears, in your interest. The idea that we all long for comfort in our past and more importantly have hope for the future is something we all want. And at its core, that is the foundation of Vaporwave. So yeah, Vaporwave is dead. So long live Vaporwave. So what do you think? Has Vaporwave always been a dead meme, or do you find genuine meaning in this pseudo-art movement? Let us know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe. I'm your boy Mike Dangerous, and this was Talking Shots.